Hey, Brendan here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Well, the 2026 NFL Draft scouting season is underway. What better way to kick it off with a 3-round rookie mock? You play Dynasty Fantasy Football out there, you are going to love this show. Going to be joined by Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co-host. And we've done a 3-round rookie mock draft with landing spots. They matter. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to discuss the players and generalities as we make our selections. A lot has changed. We're through 4 weeks of college football. Big changes since we did this our last mock draft back in July. So a lot of changes have happened in through the first 4 weeks. But it's going to be a ton of fun. So hit that subscribe button. Help me grow the channel. Check out the website below. I got rookie ranks for the 2026 rookies, 2027, 2028, all by positions. A great way to support the channel. All right, let's not waste any more time. Enjoy the mock draft. All right, the main event, Jason. Let's talk about our rookie mock draft, okay? Super excited about this. 2026 scouting season is here, folks, and we did a 3-round rookie mock super flex. It's going to be a PPR tight end premium. A couple disclaimers before we get started. I eliminated Manning and Sellers from this exercise. I really, truly believe that they are going to be 2027 prospects. Sam Levitt, I was kind of on the fence whether or not I wanted to put him in here. I think he's also going to go back to school. But anyway, he's in the exercise. These were my landing spots. So when we give you guys the names, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see the landing spots, but we'll point them out as well. I had a lot of fun with the landing spots, just trying to put as many at least at the top of the draft skill players and some juicy landing spots that make it even more fun and interesting. And a lot of these guys are going to come back to school. I mean, we do have some seniors, but we have a lot of juniors too. And we know probably 3 or 4 of these players that we're going to talk about tonight will probably go back to school. But, week 4 of college football, we're, in the books. It's a good time now. This will be a great way for you guys to kind of hear some names. Had a lot of fun doing this and give you a first look at really what this class kind of looks like. And I thought maybe we could talk about the players a little bit, as well as the depth of some of the positions as well as we go through the process. But, I feel like for the last 3 or 4 mock drafts, the kind host that I am, I always give you the first pick, and I'm going to be a little stingy this week. All right, this time around, because I'm going to go first. Okay. And I'm going to go, again, it's a super flex. I got to take a quarterback off the bat, and I'm going to go with John Mateer. I just did a film breakdown with Rylan G yesterday, actually Sunday, which was yesterday. Yes, Sunday morning. And we broke down his game versus Michigan. And it was the tape of 2 tales, to be honest with you. I mean, he really had some good moments, but he had some moments that weren't great too. But I just think he's got those intangibles. I watched his interview after the game this past weekend. I mean, there's a lot to like about this guy. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Now, he's got some mechanical issues and stuff, but I have him going to Miami. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to just clean house at the end of the year, assuming maybe they get the first pick or trade up. John Mateer, I think, could be potentially the first quarterback off the board, but I think they reboot the whole organization down there. GM, coach, they trade to a Tagovailoa. That's what I'm going to kind of go with here. Like the landing spot in a complete reboot in Miami, I'm taking John Mateer with my first pick.
Yeah, actually, that's a great pick because they need someone as solid as him, someone that has that, dual ability, but without the injury status and just a game record, man.
He's a
This dude is
gamer.
a freaking baller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's exactly what the Dolphins need. I like that pick a lot. With the second pick, I have Drew Aller going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think the corpse of Aaron Rodgers will be there next year. They need someone that, has that Ben Roethlisberger type stature, which, Drew Aller's a pretty big guy. I like what he has that NFL presence. He's got the arm talent. He's got the arm strength. Between the ears, we definitely need to see a little bit more. I think some of that will get answered this upcoming weekend. But I think for what he could do in this offense, I like the pairing of him and DK Metcalf. That could be a lot of fun. I think Aller is a nice fit in Pittsburgh, and they are probably really happy to get him with this second pick here.
Like we talked about before, big game this weekend against Oregon.
Yep.
So this is either going to be a great pick, or in a week from now, it's going to be like, not so
My
good.
my My dud of the week? Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
your of the week,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
nonetheless, you gotta go quarterback early in this process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting, selection there, but I love the landing spot because I do agree with you. I think Rodgers is obviously just a temporary fix, and, I mean, they've got to get a quarterback to move forward with, so
Yeah.
I would have to think that
Uh,
in this draft, that is going to happen in 2026. So with the 3rd pick, overall, I'm going with Jordan Tyson. He is the wide receiver 1 of this class, and I don't think there's any question that he is not an alpha X receiver, can be, deployed all over the field, and he is going to the New England Patriots. All right. So I think the Patriots, as nice of a, receiving core that they might have, I think they've got a bunch of wide receiver too. And if they want Drake May to be successful, they have got to go out and get him a stud. And I think that organization is
mhm.
smart enough to know that they cannot rely on a bunch of mid-level receivers to try and make it work. They addressed the running back position last year with Henderson, although he's not really doing a whole lot yet through 3 weeks of the NFL. But Jordan Tyson is a stud. He is the clear number 1. He's probably going to be a top 10 selection in the draft, and so I'm going to take him here. I think he's going to be a very impactful player early, and that's that's what we want to draft in Dynasty this early in a rookie draft.
I mean, they have Kayshon Booth, they have Stephon Diggs, who, isn't playing up to the ceiling of potential that we were expecting. They need a guy like this. They need a
Mhm.
Tyson. They're probably still waiting for Kyle Williams to come on, but I think this is a perfect fit for May and this offense. I like that pick a lot. And with the 4th pick, I'm going to go to the running back position, and the Chicago Bears are on the clock taking Nick Singleton, Penn State running back. And my God, do they need a running back like this? They need a bigger back that has the power, has the speed, has the pass catching upside, and fits Ben Johnson's system beautifully. I think that is Nick Singleton. He got 2nd round draft capital, I believe, in this draft, and I don't really care. I think this is the perfect type of upside I am looking for in a scarce running back class. So Nick Singleton to the Bears at pick 104.
It's interesting selection there. I thought you were gonna snipe me on this one. I was pleasantly
I
surprised
thought
when
about it. I
the
thought about it.
Nicholson Singleton
It's
pick
it's
came
it's
through.
position scarcity, man. You got to get what you can get.
Yeah, hey, in the running back room, there is a
Yeah.
teardrop here. I think there's 3 or 4 guys before the cliff starts. So I respect that pick 100%. With the 5th pick overall in this draft, I'm going with my man Fernando Mendoza. Gave him a landing spot of the Raiders, and 975 yards through 4 weeks of college football, 14 TDs, 0 picks. He protects the ball. He's got the size. He's got the mobility. He has a couple rushing touchdowns, I also believe. So went through his progressions really nice. Had a really nice game against Illinois this past week. 5 touchdowns. Ran one in as well. I don't think he played most of the second half, but I love Mendoza. He's very high up in my quarterback ranks. I love the size, and I love the landing spot with the Raiders. Because can you
Mhm.
guess why I love that landing spot so much? Can you
So
guess?
we can help Brock Bowers out?
No,
I mean,
because
my
the
god.
GOAT is part of that organization,
Ah,
Mr. Tom Brady, and I just know that Tom Brady is gonna be down on the field mentoring this kid. So whoever the Raiders draft, you gotta bump it up in your ranks because the GOAT is gonna be whispering in his ear, developing him. So I got Mendoza going to the Raiders with the 5th pick.
yeah, I like that for many, many different reasons, so that's gonna work out really well. Geno Smith is garbage. With the 6th, where are we at? Yeah, with the 6th pick, I'm gonna go with Garrett Nussmeier to the New Orleans Saints. Hey, Spencer Rattler's doing his thing. He's solid, but they need a guy that's coming from a program that is trying to win. I like how Garrett Nussmeier can, go through his progressions, fit it into tight windows. I like some of the arm strength that he has, throwing with anticipation in zone coverage into the second level. I think there's a lot that can be worked with within him. I think the durability is definitely an issue. I think the size might be an issue, but hey, he's going to the same place. Drew Brees has some success as an undersized quarterback, so why not Garrett Nussmeier? And I think they're going to try to surround him with better weapons as well. So Nussmeier to the Saints.
Yeah, I like that. And his father apparently, I believe, is the offensive coordinator this year. So, um,
No crap. I did
yeah,
not realize that. Okay,
yeah,
well, I thought even
I
better.
could be wrong on that.
Oh,
I
you
think it
did do
is.
your research on these landing spots, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, with the 7th pick, I'm taking your other beloved running back who I'm
Huh.
really surprised you didn't take because you are a Golden Domer, man, and that is Jeremiah Love
Mhm.
going to the Titans. the Titans, if they want Cam Ward to be a successful quarterback, they have got to get a running game. Pollard is a
Yes.
jag. They need receivers. They need help all around Cam Ward. And I think no better thing that helps a quarterback develop than having a stud running back to take the pressure off the offense and the quarterback. So Jeremiah Love had a great game this past weekend. I mean, he is the RB1 for a lot of people. So I'm going to take Love here going to the Titans. Get that running back, like you said. It's scarcity in the position.
Yeah, the reason I took Swift, or I'm sorry, Singleton, is because of the usage I see from Swift. I mean, if Ben Johnson's going to keep feeding Swift, my God, he's going to love Nick Singleton, and I
Mhm.
just like the opportunity a little bit better. But I do like Love going to the Titans. I'm sorry, Love, yeah, going to the
Yeah, it's the
Titans. That's
Titans.
a
Yep.
nice fit.
Mhm.
I got Carnell Tate with the next pick going to the Giants, and I'm thinking, my God, neighbors, Tate, that's gotta help Jackson Dart, who looks like he is going to be forced into the lineup at some point with the way this offense is going, and he's going to need all the help he can get. And I think Tate would be a beautiful pick. I think Neighbors and Tate would complement each other. I like the vertical explosion. He's great above the rim, which is absolutely going to help out your young quarterback. The length, the catch radius, and just the manipulation within zone. So I think Tate is a perfect fit for the Giants, and most likely Jackson Dart for the future.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, Dable. Don't be pressured. Don't put him in there. Let him sit a year.
Yep.
Let him
You
sit.
know it's gonna happen though,
I know it is. He's going to
unfortunately.
try and save his job. He's going to
Yeah,
throw um, Dart out there too early.
it's
You can just see
unfortunate.
it.
Yeah.
With the ninth pick in the first round, I'm
Oh,
taking
you
Jonah
sniper.
Coleman going to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, I think, are going to figure out that Williams is not the answer, and they need to go out and get their bell cow running back of the future. And Jonah Coleman, as you and I have discussed on the podcast many, many
Mhm.
times, is just he's durable. He's a stud. He gets fed the rock and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got the size, the lateral agility, the toughness, physicality, everything we want in a running back going to Dallas Cowboys. I think they finally get off the schneid and stop trying to play games in the position. Certainly could help Dak Prescott to maybe become a better quarterback as well. So I'm taking Jonah Coleman here with the juicy Dallas landing spot.
Oh man, you sniper. I legit thought about him at 4 and I was like, that's just too rich. I can't do it. But my God, I love that landing spot, the pick. Oh, it's so good. So anyway, I had to make sure it wasn't gonna happen to me again. So with this next pick, Makai Lemon to the Tennessee Titans at pick 110. And dude, Makai Lemon is having himself a season. He is the primary weapon for the USC Trojans this year. And I love the development. He is playing on the outside, getting releases easily. I see the acceleration, the hands, manipulation, the yards after the catch. He is a demon, man. Rushed it in for a touchdown this past weekend. He's great in punt returns, kick returns. He can do it all. And that's exactly what the Titans need is a weapon
Mhm.
like Makai Lemon. I think it's going to be a perfect fit. And Cam Ward's going to get a great receiver. And I love that combination, that young combination for the future.
I gotta hand it to you, man. Lemon's been your boy for some time, so he is having a great season. I was like actually cutting up some
Yeah,
Jacoby Lane film, and I've got some Lemon takes. I'm gonna send you. We're gonna do a film grind on
love it.
him, but man, he had this really nice play. Just got missed 3 or 4 tackles. Guys bouncing off him, running 60, 70
Yeah.
yards for a touchdown. He was his yak ability is pretty special. He's an explosive receiver, so I like that pick a lot. With the 11th pick in the first round, I'm going with my RB2 in all of
Mm,
Devi, and that is Justice Haynes going to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know the Mason, I'm sorry, Derrick Henry is there right now, but they've got a plan for after Derrick Henry. And I think that Justice
mhm.
Haynes right now, Michigan, is having a great season. Three
Yeah,
down
yeah.
back, physical, it's got the ability to make guys miss in the line of scrimmage. Got the ability to do some damage in the second level as well. Love Jay's Justin Haynes, and the running back position is going to be fading off here extremely quick. I feel like looking at our just looking at our second round coming up, it's kind of bare with the running backs. So you got to get
Yes.
your running backs early in 2026. There's going to be 3 or 4, I think, that are going to hit our rosters and be serviceable impact dynasty rookie picks for us next year. But the 3 that we've mentioned, the 4 that we've mentioned here, I think there's a teardrop significantly after these 4 guys.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, and I actually think it's a good idea to have your running back of the future backed up to your starter right now so he can
Mhm.
sit, learn, develop, and get comfortable in that offense. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. And with this last pick in the first round, I pick 112, I gotta take advantage of the super flex scoring. I know, the Browns just took 2 quarterbacks, but Carson Beck is sitting here, and they're still trying to figure it out. Sanders
Mhm.
really isn't getting much opportunity whatsoever. Flacco, he's inconsistent. He's good one week and inconsistent the next. And I think they're still trying to figure it out. And, Beck has been inconsistent as of last week, but I like what I've seen up to this point. So I'm going to take advantage of the scoring and get another quarterback. You never know what can happen, especially with the injuries we've already seen just a couple weeks into the NFL season this year.
I think Cleveland's figured it out. They want Flacco to tank. I mean, let's face it. I think they
Right?
know
It seems
exactly
that
what they're
way.
doing. They're
Good Lord.
just yeah,
Even though they
there's
beat the
nobody who
Packers, that was amazing.
yeah, that was an amazing game, but,
Yeah.
not an amazing game, but amazing result anyway. So that rounds out
Result,
our
right.
first round, okay? So I'm gonna kick us off on the second round. I'm getting sucked into the buzz. I have a tendency to do that
Hmm.
sometimes, but Chris Brazell, from Tennessee, again this past week, had a touchdown and had a really impressive catch and run after the catch, going to the Washington Commanders. Now, I know they got Debo there, but I think he is just a stopgap, and, I wanna be attached to Jaden Daniels, and I think this guy could be the vertical player that stretches the field. He is an ascending Debbie and an ascending 2026 wide receiver. But looking at the wide receiver board here, after the top 3 or 4 guys we've already spoken about, there's 1 or 2 guys that I was considering here, but the explosiveness that Chris brings to the table, and I think he's just last year he went to Tennessee and was hoping to really break out because he was certainly productive his first 2 years, and it just didn't work out with Nico down there, the quarterback now, who's now in UCLA. But now that he's got a guy that can
Hmm.
sling the rock down the field, he's now emerging in front of our eyes. So Chris Brazell going to the Washington Commanders, love the landing spot, love the size, length. So I'm going to take the upside with Brazell.
Yeah, I like that. I like that fit with Jaden Daniels. I think that could be good growth potential for the two of them. With pick 202, I'm going to go to the wide receiver position as well. And I'm going to preface when healthy and on the field, Antonio
Mhm.
Williams is a very special
Yes,
receiver. And I'm looking at the New York Jets who are selecting him here. And I'm thinking, really, they just have Garrett Wilson. That's all they can rely on right now. Insert Antonio Williams into the slot, who's a master manipulator, gets separation with ease, and just understands how to navigate the field after the catch. I really like this fit. I think he could see a lot of targets in this offense. I think Garrett Wilson taking some of the attention away from Antonio Williams can absolutely help him out. So Antonio Williams at 202 to the New York Jets who need the help.
yes, they do. They need the help a lot. So you're absolutely right. When he is healthy and on the field, about as dominating as a wide receiver in this class that there is. So
Yes.
let's hope he can
Yep.
continue to stay healthy and stay on the field for the rest of this year. With the third pick in the second round, I'm going with Jeremy Bernard, going to the Seattle Seahawks, playing with
Mm.
JSN. I don't know if Jalen Milrow is going to be the guy of the future. I'm kind of hoping so. But in the meantime, Bernard is just there's nothing really flashy about his game. You and I have done film breakdowns on him, but he just seems to get open in those zone coverages, and he's got good strong hands. He's got decent yak ability. He's going to be, I think, a solid possession receiver in the NFL. He's not going to be a wide receiver one on an NFL franchise, but he could be a great number 2/3 receiver who's just going to be very consistent, coming from a good program like Alabama, playing in the SEC. I like the Seahawks landing spot, so I'm going to go with Bernard here with this third pick in the second round.
Yeah, I really like that spot. I think him and JSN could really do some damage together. I'm gonna go with the tight end premium scoring, and I'm going to take Kenyon Sadiq going to the San Francisco 49ers at pick 204. And the reason I like this, one, I mean, I know George Kittle is there, but George Kittle is really inconsistent with being on the field. He's been dealing with a
Mhm.
lot of injuries almost every single year. He's always out a couple of weeks. I think Kenyon Sadiq, who needs development, but he has that athletic upside. Talk about an offense who understands how to develop and use the
Mhm.
tight end position. I think that's exactly what Kenyon Sadiq needs, and I think that is exactly how the opportunity is going to make him valuable in fantasy football. So Sadiq at 204 to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that's a great selection because he might be really the only tight end in the class that I'm excited about. To be honest with you, I mean, after at least
Yeah,
initially looking
at
at
least
the players, at least the athleticism, the ability to get on the field year one as a dynasty rookie selection.
right.
I think he is going to be really one of the only ones. I'm going to select a tight end in the next round, but maybe we'll have two or three. But he is going to be, I think, the tier one guy in the class. So with the fifth pick in the second round, I'm going to go with Sam Levitt going to the Rams. He's going to be Matthew
Mm,
Stafford backup. Round two selection, I gave him going to the Rams. I think Sean McVay, in him I trust, and Sean McVay I think would, Stafford might play for another year or two, but Sam Levitt, if he does declare for the 2026 NFL draft, not sure he's going to sneak into round one. If it is, it's late. So I got the Rams selecting him in round two as a developmental quarterback with the fingers crossed that he could take over for Stafford. And here in the middle of the second round is when we're going to start to see a little bit of a teardrop in the quality of impact
mhm.
players still that we're going to draft that I think are going to get us potentially some dynasty points, but guys that are going to come out and maybe make an impact. I think we're going to start to see it drop off a little bit. So I got Levitt here with the fifth pick in the second round going to the Rams.
That could actually be a lot of fun. In that offense for sure. Pick 206, I'm going to go with Zachariah Branch. I'm going, the 49ers are taking another offensive weapon. And, I'm looking at what Zachariah Branch can do. That yards after the catch, explosiveness, and a West Coast offense. Just give him the ball at the line of scrimmage on a bubble screen and let him take it just like he does at Georgia right now. With the special teams contribution that he has. I think this is a great fit, and I'm looking at the receivers that are there with Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. Like they need a smaller, explosive guy. I thought that was going to be Jacob Cowling, but he has yet to really be consistent or get on the field. He with his injury status, so I think Branch would be a nice fit in this offense. It could provide a lot of PPR value.
I like that a lot. I know you've been a big branch. He's just such an explosive player. And in San
Yeah,
Francisco, Shanahan knows how to use his players, just like you talked about
he
with Sadiq.
does.
He
Right.
knows how to get the most out of his players. So with the seventh pick in the second round, I'm going with KC Concepcion going to the
Mm.
Steelers. All right. They still need, I know they have DK Metcalf now, but I don't know. He's getting long in the tooth. And I think with Aller that I gave them picking in the first round, they're going to need some young receivers to emerge. And this guy's averaging 17.5 yards a catch right now,
Mhm.
playing for Texas A&M, a two-year transfer, I believe, from NC State, goes to Texas A&M now and is producing. He's the second leading receiver on the team, I believe, at the moment, but he's producing each and every week. And I think he's an underrated wide receiver in this class, a little undersized, but he's got the twitch, he's got the explosiveness, and I really like how Texas A&M is using him this year versus in the past, getting him more vertically involved in the offense. I think he's a sneaky wide receiver in this draft, so I'm taking Concepcion going to the Steelers.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal against Notre Dame. I mean, I think this kid's got a legit like 40-inch vertical. He looks so vertically explosive and
Mhm.
vertical down the field. So yeah, that'd be a nice, fun fit. I'm gonna go to the receiver position as well. And at 208, I'm taking Eric Singleton Jr. going to the Carolina Panthers, and I'm looking at that offense and what they have you know, um, with Tet McMillan and Xavier Legette, like these bigger receivers, they need a smaller, twitchier, yards
Mhm.
after the catch, explosive, dynamic receiver like Eric Singleton. And I think it would be a compliment to what they currently have right now. So Singleton could see opportunities in the middle of the zone, which will absolutely help out Bryce Young, which we see that he needs a little bit of the help in that spot. So I think this would be a nice fit with Eric Singleton Jr.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Bryce Young to see what they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's going to
Yeah.
need to, I think, get a little better to get the confidence of the coaching staff down there in Carolina. With the ninth pick in the second round, I'm going to go with Elijah Surratt. I also gave a landing spot to the LA, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, rather. So, kind of, do you get the connection there? The Raiders? You get the
I get
connection?
it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Mendoza and
Yeah.
Surratt are playing now, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he whispers, in the goat's ear and says, "Hey, bring Surratt to the table." But I'd like this guy. He is a physical possession receiver. I think he's a wide receiver 3 on a team. Obviously, he's not going to be a lead guy, but I think he could come in and be, given what's on the board right now. I'm going to lean wide receivers here a little bit. So I'm going to take Surratt going to the LA or the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, that's a fun connection in college. I think that'd be a lot of fun in the NFL too. I did not know that his nickname was Waffle House until I watched this past game and they were bringing that up. So interesting nickname for Elijah Surratt, Waffle House.
I guess he eats a lot of
And
Waffle House.
I guess he does. Pick 210, I'm gonna go with Denzel Boston to the Denver Broncos, and just give Bo Nix another Cortland Sutton type, and it seems to be working out. Sutton went off this past weekend, and another towering receiver with that length and catch radius will absolutely help out his young quarterback. And I like the fit in this offense of how they utilize the receivers. Marvin Mims is a smaller guy, still waiting to come on. Like I think this would be a great spot for a guy like Boston to get early opportunity as well.
I like it. Bo Nix is having a decent year so far, so we'll
Yeah.
see get him another pass catcher. So with the 11th pick in the second round, I'm going. It's been 10 picks, people, since we've taken a running back. It's time to get back on the running back train. I want to go with Le'Veon Moss. A little spicy of a pick here. I may be a little higher on than Moss than other people. I like what I saw last year before his injury, and I think it's going to take him this season to really get his form back. But he was pretty explosive before he got hurt. I gave him a landing spot of going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Caleb Johnson is obviously a whiff of a third round pick in this past year's draft. The dude has had 4 snaps in 3 weeks
Mhm.
on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So obviously the kid can't play. So I think they go back to the well. They need to find. I mean, Warren is a nice player, but he is not built, I don't think, to be a full down back. So Le'Veon Moss, they go back, and I think he was drafted in the fourth round in this mock, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, Moss has that Pittsburgh Steeler type of look to him as well, that bigger pounding running back. So I think
Mhm.
that would be a nice fit. And with the last pick in the second round, I'm going to go with Katron Allen going to the Houston Texans. Nick Chubb is currently the starter there. Not sure how long he is going to last. Obviously, we see that he lost a bit of that explosiveness. I know they traded up to get Woody Marks, but Woody Marks doesn't have the size nor the type of pedigree I think that Katron Allen does, especially with what Allen is doing this season. I think actually Marks and Allen would be a nice combination
Mhm.
duo, deploying them together. So Allen with the last pick in the second round to the Texans.
Yeah, people don't get excited about Allen, but he might just end up being just a really good committee back in the NFL, just solid
That's exactly what I
fundamentals.
think he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so we'll see. I think landing
There's
spot's
nothing
gonna
wrong with that.
be important for him. So that
Hmm.
rounds out the second round. Let's start the third round with the first pick in the third round. I'm going with a guy that I just recently updated my Debbie ranks on the NFL draft big boards. And Darian Price is a top 15 running back for me in Debbie, going to the Washington Commanders. I know they got the cross merit guy, or this, I forget his name. The guy is the sixth or seventh pick in this year's
Oh,
draft.
Corey Merritt. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice story, but we'll see what happens. But now they got rid of Robinson Jr., and I think they're going to be looking to, you know, get a little bit more physicality in their backfield. And Jadarian Price has just been tearing it up. I know for your Golden Domers, you've been watching him, 3 touchdowns this past weekend. I think he's got the
Hmm.
physicality. I think he's got lateral agility, catch the ball as well. So I like Jadarian Price, what I've seen him playing. So, and I like the Commanders landing spot. I think they're still going to be adding a running back in the 2026 draft.
Yeah, I like this pick a lot. I think Price is definitely going to be a riser. It wouldn't surprise me, if we're talking pretty highly about him come NFL draft time with the way he's been playing this year. I'm going to go to one of my favorite receivers that just needs to get on the field this year and help out Mekhi Lemon. That's going to be Jacoby Lane going to the Seattle Seahawks. And, I'm looking at the receivers that they currently have with JSN. You had them take Jeremy Bernard, and I think they need an outside receiver like Jacoby Lane with the length, the catch radius, the
Mhm.
ability to really eat up real estate, to get downfield, and just has that dynamic contortion ability to make spectacular catches. And that will help out any quarterback that he has throwing to him. So Jacoby Lane to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, my idea with the 2 wide receivers getting Seattle Seahawk landing spot was my fingers crossed for Jalen Milroe, that maybe they're building the kitty for him.
Yeah.
So when he's ready to go in a year or two, maybe that he's got himself a stable of wide receivers. With the third pick in the third round, I'm going to go with Damon Claiborne going to the Kansas City Chiefs, 5'10", 195-pound running back. He's got 247 yards through 4 weeks of college football, 4 touchdowns, 9.9 average, has 8 receptions just this past weekend. So I still think the Kansas City Chiefs is a decent landing spot for a running back. I still think it's one of the problems of Kansas City's offensive is they're relying on these two running backs that they have right now that I think are just above average. Don't know if Claiborne's going to be much better than them, but here we are in the middle of the third, the beginning of the third round. So it's slim pickings in the running back room right now. So I gave him a good landing spot to kind of bump him up here. But Claiborne, who I've not watched extensively, um, but certainly somebody I'll be digging into in this draft process. But I got Claiborne going to Kansas City with the third pick in the third round.
I see. I got to dig into his film
Hmm.
as well. With the fourth pick in the third round, I'm going to go with Nick Harbor going to the Washington Commanders. You know, we got Price going there. You had Chris Brazel going there, and now Nick Harbor. I mean, this is a nice combination for receivers to help out Jaden Daniels. You know, Harbor, regardless of what I think about him as a complete receiver, he definitely has the speed. He can definitely get downfield, and he definitely has the length to make a difference and make catches that might be, erratic or difficult. So I just think that this is going to be a nice combination for him in an offense that needs some receiver help with high athletic upside, and that is Nick Harbor.
Yeah, and I was thinking too, like maybe tight end because I think Ben Sinnott is a miss, right? I mean, he can't seem to
Yeah,
get
he
on the
hasn't
field.
done anything, which is crazy.
Yes. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking Nick Harbor, once Zach Ertz kind of moves on, maybe he might kind of slide and be that big slot
yeah,
kind of
be
tight end
versatile. That
role.
would even build more value. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly. With the fifth pick in the third round, I'm going with a receiver who I think I'm going to just lay it out there a little bit. That might be a riser as we go to the NFL draft, and that is Barry Brown, the forgotten Kentucky wide receiver that everyone used to love 3 years ago. Here he is now, 4 years. He's a senior, transfers to LSU. I think he's the primary receiver on that team right now, going to the Philadelphia Eagles. And my God in heaven, I wish Howie, he's a great drafter, but we need a field stretcher for the Philadelphia Eagles to keep defenses honest. And I'd love to see Barry and Brown be our wide receiver three on a team. I gave him an Eagles landing spot coming out of he can play all over the field, but being a slot and a flanker option to be that home run hitter to just take the top off of defense is what I kind of envision. And if he were to land there, it's not the greatest production spot, the third receiver on the Eagles, but Barry Brown is a player that I think is an ascending going into the cycle.
Who is it? Is it Dotson right now? Is that your third
Yeah,
receiver,
it's
basically?
Dotson, but
Yeah, yeah,
he's not. He doesn't have the speed. He's more of like a small possession receiver, but they need someone to take
yeah,
the top off the defense, man. Somebody who's a
yeah.
legitimate vertical threat to keep them honest.
Well, that's Barry and Brown, so that would work out pretty nicely. With the sixth pick in the third round, I'm going to go with Mark Fletcher Jr., who's
I
been
like
a
this
pleasant
pick.
surprise from
This pick.
Miami Hurricanes, going to the Minnesota Vikings, who, Aaron Jones is out. We've seen what Jordan Mason can do in this offense when he got his opportunity. And I'm thinking Mark Fletcher looks a lot like these kind of running backs, these bigger running backs with nice fluid agility and just does all the right things. And that's what he's been doing so far, helping the Hurricanes out this season. I think he could do the same for the Minnesota Vikings. So I got Mark Fletcher Jr. to the Vikings.
I like that pick. He was going to be who I selected next. I mean, he's playing really well for Miami right now. He's
Yeah,
he's
yeah, he is.
he's productive and could be a sneaky running back as we as we march towards April. So because it is a tight end premium kind of format here. With the seventh pick in the third round, I'm going to go with Jack Endries, Texas tight end, going to the Los Angeles Chargers. So I just want a part of the Chargers offense. I'm a big Harbaugh fan. And I think they got all the pieces there, except really the tight end that they have right now on the field is kind of escaping me. But I like the landing spot. I think that there's potential. Who did they draft last year? Didn't they draft that other kid from Ferguson?
Yeah.
Did they draft
For
Ferguson last year?
No, Ferguson went to the Rams.
Rams, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
I think Endries, Los Angeles Chargers. You're in the middle to the end of the third round here. Going to take a swing with a tight end.
Is it Gadsden? Run Gadsden? I can't
Maybe.
remember.
Yeah, I think it is
Oh my
Gatson.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think, hey, you get a tight end with Harbaugh, and that's just a good combination regardless.
Mhm.
So I like that. At 308, I'm gonna go with my current tight end one. I love the athletic upside. I'm looking at the target share for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That might be a little bit dicey, but he's a very versatile type of tight end, and that's Eli Stowers. I love his usage. I love the yards after the catch ability. I think he's got some explosiveness where you can really make him kind of a gadget player if you wanted to. Have him as a running back. You could really play around with his usage, and I think that is just going to make him even more valuable. He's basically a receiver and a tight end position right now, and that goes really well in fantasy football on an offense that really knows how to spread around and
Mhm.
utilize and maximize all their weapons. So Stowers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Playing with, Baker down there. That'd be a fun
Yep.
spot for sure. The ninth pick in the third round, I'm gonna go with Chris Bell, a wide receiver that's gotten some buzz here early in the season, going to the Miami Dolphins. I think Miami, they need to get more physical. I think they focused on
Hmm.
speed and it's coming back and biting them in the ass. I think Tyreek Hill is gone after this year. And then with Mateer getting the first round selection, they're going to start rebuilding this wide receiver room around him. Wouldn't be surprised if they do, in fact, move on, that they don't pick a receiver earlier, because I think he got round 5 or round 4 draft capital on this mock.
Hmm.
But big X receiver, he's got some speed. He just brings something to the table that Miami currently does not have right now. And they, I think, need to get bigger and physical. So I'm going to go with Chris Bell going to the Dolphins.
He's an interesting one. I'm anxious to dive into his tape a little bit
Me
further.
too.
At 310, I'm gonna go with Dane Key
Love
to
this
the
pick.
LA Rams. Anytime the Rams select the receiver, you usually need to perk up regardless. But Key's having a great season. He's been a very good go-to for Dylan Rayola, and he just seems like a Rams type of receiver. You know, they're gonna find a way to maximize a guy that they draft and that they identify, and that makes me feel even better about a guy who I liked and you liked, I think, Brandon, coming from
Mhm.
Kentucky, and how he's playing this year just makes me feel even better.
Yeah, I think he's another wide receiver that could be a riser going into
Mhm.
the draft. So, and when Devontae Adams is there in the Rams, I mean, Puka Nacua is a stud. I just watched him lose to my
Yeah,
Eagles this
he's
weekend. The
so
guy,
good.
he's just ridiculous how strong
Yeah.
he is and physical with those strong hands. But I think they need a receiver kind of in the pipeline for that organization.
Mhm.
So
I
that's why I
agree.
gave them a landing spot. So with the 11th pick in the third round, I have in my notes here, I said, fuck it. I'm taking Cade Klubnik going to the Indianapolis Colts. He gets drafted in the second round. I know he's a big faller in the complete draft cycle here. But I don't know. I just figured at the end of the third round, we're taking shots in the dark here, and I'm figuring, I know Daniel Jones is playing well, and Daniel Jones got good for him. Good for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's great that he's going to a new place. Maybe they take K Klubnik and he's a developmental guy here, but looking at the talent that's on the board here, it's not a deep class in a lot of the positions. It's a super flex position, and here at the end of the third round, I'm going to take Klubnik going to the Colts.
It could be a great situation for Klubnik. I mean, not having to start right away, not having the
Mhm.
expectation, and not getting that top 10 NFL draft capital, that's probably best for a guy like this to have success in the NFL. So I don't mind it at all. And I'm going to go with the last pick in the third round with the tight end going to the Saints. Juwan Johnson's having a great year, but he's also kind of that slot receiver. They're moving him
Mhm.
around. I'm going with Max Clare, the Ohio State tight end that just I'm not sure if it's just opportunity, target share, what it is this season is just not getting it. But I've seen enough of him in his collegiate career to feel like he could be a solid NFL tight end with translatable traits. Um, Hey, if Juwan Johnson's doing good, that's absolutely fine. That means Claire's going to sit, learn behind him, and understand the system better. And I'll be happy to have him in a tight end premium, just in case he gets that spot start or becomes a starter.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think he transferred to the wrong team when he left
Yeah,
Purdue.
I think so too.
He
It
should
seems
have
like
went
that.
somewhere that actually uses their tight end. So there you guys got it. I'd love
Yep.
to hear if you're watching this on YouTube. I'd love to hear, did we miss any players? What landing spots did you like that you didn't like? Leave some comments. That would be pretty cool. And let us know who maybe we missed in the mock. So great exercise, Jason.